you go to the floor, they go to the back, in children's church. Andrew, you sit right there. All right, so we have a few announcements. We will be having Bible study at 6:30 this Wednesday. At 6:30 this Wednesday at church. We will also make sure that you download the Prevailing Church app so you can give your tithes and offering. You can look in a Google Play Store or I forgot the app. Apple is iTunes, so iTunes store to download the app. We are having a back-to-school talent show, so this is going to be pretty exciting, pretty awesome. I think this is the 3rd annual one. You want to sign up with Miss Shadell Lewis. I know she is coming because she texted me, but she hasn't made it yet. They're going to have actors, singers, dancers, comedies, instrumentals. The little guys who played last year, they were, recording artists, they were amazing. They were like in 5th grade and they were already leading worship, so it was pretty awesome. So, and she gives really, really good prizes. So make sure that you get with her to sign up for the Back to School Talent Show. All right, next one. There's another one. Oh, never mind. There's supposed to be another one. All right, so on the first Sunday in August, we will have August 5th. Yes, we will have a chicken dinner sale here right after church. The meals are going to be $10. I'm going to have the menu posted up there, but it's a pretty good menu. Pastor Teddy is making the rice dressing, so that's going to be awesome. Yeah, he does. That's going to be great. He does. The real kind, too, not the veterans. So make sure that you prepare to talk to Chanel about getting a pre-order on $10 per plate for having lunch with us. And there's no more announcements, so if you would just bow your heads and pray with me, I'm going to pray, and the next voice that you're going to hear is our own Pastor Cedric. Father God, we thank you. We thank you for bringing us here today, another day, Lord God, in the presence of your Spirit, Lord God. We felt the Holy Spirit in worship, Lord God. We know that your name is mighty, Lord God, and you are our strength, Lord God. We know that the devil is coming to try and steal, kill, and destroy each and every one of our lives, but we say no in the name of Jesus. We want your word. We're here because we need your word, Lord God. We ask for you to come on us. We ask for you to build us up. We ask for you to show us, Lord God, new things that we did not know, Lord. We ask for you to transform our hearts, transform our lives, transform our minds, Lord, so that our speech is different. How we interact with others are different, Lord God. After this Sunday, use the man of God, Lord. Use Pastor Tedrick this morning, Lord. Use him in a mighty way, Lord. Let your word come forth, Lord, powerfully, Lord. And we thank you, and we will give your name all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor, all the days of our lives. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's give God a hand clap and praise everybody. Somebody else is telling me that, and that's what we're here this morning. So I want to thank everybody. First of all, I want to start off by thanking everybody for last week. We had a great time eating last week. We kind of snuck out on y'all and went on vacation. Everybody else going on vacation. If you look around, everybody just take a turn. Everybody going on vacation at the same time. So I'm glad Chris didn't say I was a bum for playing hooky on y'all last week. But we did say when the parents away, well, everybody going to have fun. He preached longer than me. Hallelujah. It's good. It's all good. So I want to thank you guys. We really needed that as a family. We learned a lot when we went to Washington, D.C. We drove up there, and it was a good time for my family. It was a great time to relax and just kind of get away. Amen? Amen. So that was great. So we're still, this is going to be our final week, hopefully, of our incredible series. And we're going to talk about incredible marriage, and I think this is the right now word for everybody that's here, every adult that's here right now, because you got two people in here, those who are going to get married and those who are married. Can we just say amen? Can we amen? Those who are going to get married and those who are married. So it doesn't matter where you're at, where you kind of currently find yourself at in your relationship. When it comes down to your relationship, this is information to show you what you're going into, and it's a little maintenance on where you're at right now. So because everything rises and falls on the marriage. Because when God said, in the beginning, He said, let's make man in our image and our likeness, and He created man, one person, one flesh. And then He looked down and said, it's not good for that man to be alone. So He took a part of man and He made woman out of it. So So the reflection of marriage is to get back together. It said the two will become one flesh. And when the two become one flesh, that's the image of God. So because that is the image of God, Satan is trying his best to try to attack marriages and try to tear marriage apart. But I say today that the devil is alive. We're going to fight for our marriage. We're going to fight to keep our marriage. And we're going to be strong marriages because our society, even society, is built on the marriage. So I'm reminded of a story about a marriage. This husband and a wife, they were having this argument. It got heated. It was a bad argument. She was yelling at him, and he was yelling at her, and she was yelling at him, and he was yelling at her. So finally the man said, he said, "You are so stupid, but you're so beautiful." And so she was offended. She said, "Oh, you calling me stupid? And I don't care if you say I'm beautiful, but let me tell you one thing." She said, "God made me beautiful so that you will marry me. But he made me stupid, so I'll marry you." And sometimes, isn't that the picture of marriage sometimes? We just going back and forth. But the truth of the matter is God put you together, husband and wife. They said opposites attract. He put you together. You were different than her, and she was different than you. And he put both of y'all together so y'all two can become one flesh. So when you look at your spouse and you look at them and say what they're lacking, the reason why they're lacking what they're lacking, but they do good in the areas they do good in, because you're lacking too. And if both of y'all come together, that means you take your pluses and her minuses and put with your pluses and your minuses, and you'll create a complete person. But the problem is sometimes we get stuck, right? So today we're trying to unstick. If you're at a place where you're stuck in your marriage and you're having a tough time in your marriage, guess what? Today is the day you're going to get unstuck. I'm reminded of another story. Anybody know Tony Evans? Pastor Tony Evans, real popular guy, wrote a lot of great books. A pastor over in Texas, has a really big church, and he tells this story about this time when he always had a fear of elevators. Some of you have a fear of flying, but he had a fear of elevators, and he always thought if he got on that elevator, he's in this small box, and it taking him all the way to the top. What if something happened? What if the cable break? What if he gets stuck? So his whole life he had this fear of elevators, but because he was such a well-known pastor, he had to go to these places and be in these environments where he had to ride an elevator. So he got on the elevator one day in this high-rise building, and as they were going up and going up to the top of the building, to the top floor of the building, and he said the elevator got stuck and had people in the elevator with him. So they got stuck in the elevator, and when they were in the elevator, somebody hauled off and started beating on the side of the elevator. Beating on the side of the elevator, trying to get it to go, hitting how you got the push buttons, hitting all on the push buttons and just beating on the walls and beating on the door. And then another person started yelling. He thinking to himself, he's the most fearful one in the elevator. The other person started yelling, help, help, hoping somebody on the outside can hear him and hear his call and hear what they're yelling and come in and get the elevator and stuff. So Tony Evans said he looked back and he was seeing all this happening, so he wasn't scared anymore. So he thought about it. He said, well, somebody's already beating on the elevator. I can't do that. And somebody's already screaming for help. I can't do that. So what he did was quietly walk over to the phone, the box on the cart with the phone in it, pick up the phone and say, we need some help. Could you please come get us unstuck? And that same thing that Tony Evans said or experienced applies to your marriage when you're stuck. Because when things go wrong, everybody start beating on the walls. Our first thing is we want to fight. We want to start to fight and say, we're right, and we're going, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. And we start to fight each other, but guess what? They got enough people, and if you're married, all of us have made this mistake before, and we try to fight even before we talk, and we start beating on the walls of our marriage, hoping something's going to change. But no matter how much you beat on those walls, guess what? The elevator is going to stay stuck. And no matter how much you start to scream, help, get me out of here, and you start to yell, guess what? No matter how much you yell, all you're going to do is make yourself hoarse, because you know why? You're stuck between floors. You're supposed to be rising, but you're stuck right there, and you're yelling at your spouse, you're yelling at everybody, and you're talking, but guess what God wants you to do? Remain calm. Walk over to the box on the elevator called prayer, and say, you know what? In all situations, I'll pray about this thing. And I'll just stay calm and I'll follow the word along. And when you pick it up, the old folks said, Jesus on the main line. Yeah. Call him up and tell him what you want. But that's the hardest thing to do when we're in the middle of our challenges, when we're in the middle of our circumstances. But guess what? If you're going to have a great marriage, the first thing you should do, before you tell me how much you beat on the elevators and how much you yell out your circumstances, I've got a question for you. How much you been praying? Because the battle is won. We think the battle is won by our efforts and our own power and what we can do and our own ability. But the greatest battle that's ever going to be fought, the greatest victory that's ever going to come to pass is the one that's fought on your knees. Can we get a better amen tonight? Because sometimes you're talking to your spouse, and if they could have did something about the situation, they would have did it already, right? If they could be the answer, they would have done it. But God knows. He sees all. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows exactly what He wants us to have and what He wants us to do. So let's get down on our knees and let's fight spiritual warfare, because I told you from the beginning, God created marriage in His image. He created man in His image. And marriage is a symbol of that image. And Satan is going to do everything he can do to try to destroy it. You're in the battle. And the crazy part is, if you don't know you're in the battle, you're destined to lose. I guarantee you, if me and you start playing basketball right now and you knew you wasn't in the game, guess who's going to win every single time? I'll win. And Satan does the same thing. The biggest thing he ever did was convince people that he didn't exist. The biggest thing he ever did was convince people that he's not their marriage, trying to destroy. So today we want to start working on the incredible marriage. I want us to walk out here with a fresh and renewed about incredible marriages. And me and Ashley, right now, I believe this. Me and Ashley have an incredible marriage. Amen. But it didn't start that way, I can tell you that much. We fought like cats and dogs. Oh, y'all just gonna look at me like I'm telling you, we fought, we had to, because we were different. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different circumstances. But the reason why we're together is because God knew I needed some stuff from my wife. One thing about Ashley, Greg always put this online. Greg Pastor, he always put this online. He said his son calls the plays and he makes it happen. He makes it happen. And I thought of it, and I thought that was very catchy. But in my marriage, this is how it is with us. I call the plays, Ashley makes it happen. Let me tell you about this mission trip, right? We got a mission trip meeting at church today. You know how that came about? I said, baby, you know what I want to do? I'm going to go on a mission trip. We should go on a mission trip. The next day, Ashley had everything planned, had all the orders. This we're going to do is we're flying out on a flight. And so all I got to do is when I say something, and she know I mean it, guess what? She makes it happen because she's better at the footwork. I'm a visionary, right? I see visions, I see things, and that's my gifting, right? That's my gifting. I can see things, I can see in the future, but her gifting is to walk it out, right? She knows how to put everything in order. She knows how to stay consistent and keep pushing on stuff and making it happen. Let me give you another example. For months, I talked about this stage, right? I talked about this stage. We need to make it happen. We need to make it happen. One day I was in the car and I said, you know what? We need to get that stage up soon. The next day, everybody she had already talked to everybody. Said, hey, meet me at the church. We're going to do this. We're going to get this going together. And boom, everybody came here and put it up, right? Because I was asking one of the deacons to do it for a long time. Okay, now let's stop with this, right? So you got your Bibles, let me see your Bibles, right? That's my introduction. Let me see your Bibles. Let me see them hold up high. Your iPhones, your iPads, whatever you got. Let me hear you say, word, 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 word. This is the word of God. This is the word of God. And because of it, I prevail. Turn your Bibles over to Ephesians chapter number 5. Ephesians chapter, who read it? Let me see, anybody show it? Oh, look at that. That's good participation. Everybody else is kind of looking out like they're looking at their Bible. Like I didn't get the message. Some of y'all be deleting my message. I know y'all be deleting all that fast. Boom. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to see in order to have an incredible marriage, the first thing the Bible says, we're going to start at Ephesians 5, chapter number 21. I'm going to start, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the whole thing out and we're going to go back and break it down. All right? Y'all good with that? Yeah. Y'all Ephesians 5? Ephesians 5, 21. We have to say it, man. Amen. It says, submit to one another out of reference for who? Christ. Okay, let me say it again. Submit to one another out of reference for who? Christ. It says, wives, 3 verses they give the wife. 3 little simple verses. This is all he said to the wives, right? The men got 6 verses. The women only have 3 verses. You know why I think God did that? Because men, we carry the mantle. If we're going to stand up there and ask our wives to submit to us, and we're going to stand and say, we the head, guess what? He wants us to be doubly as responsible. He's going to, oh, wait a minute. When we get to heaven, we all worry about what account. The Bible says we're going to have to give an account for our stewardship. Men, one of the things you're going to have to do, God is going to ask you, how did you deal with your marriage? That woman I gave you. When any man finds a wife, he finds a what? And he finds favor from the Lord. So God is going to say, we're going to get to heaven, we're going to get up there, say, Jesus, I wasn't a liar, I didn't steal nothing, I didn't commit adultery, I didn't do none of that. He's going to say, well, what you did with your wife? And he's going to say, because I sent you a good thing. And the Bible says, when you found her, I gave you favor. That is my daughter, right? That is my daughter. I know everything about her. I knew who she was. And I took my, it's kind of like thinking about this. Like when I look at Bree, and one day when she get married, she better come right? Because that's my baby. And that's my baby. And if I'm saying, hey, this is my baby, she don't have to go anywhere. She can stay in the back room in the house and our whole life, I take care of her. I born her, I take care of her for the rest of her life. But I'm going to give her over to you. What you going to do with her? Matter of fact, where you taking her? That's the first thing I want to know, right? And then, okay, let me just talk about Bree husband, right? When I ask you, the first thing I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say, how's your credit? How's your credit? This is why I'm asking that, right? I'm asking that not because I want to know how financially responsible, how much money he has. I'm asking because if you sign your name on stuff and you can't keep your commitments to pay it back, because you will come before me and tell me that you're going to take care of my daughter, and if you can't stay faithful to a bank, how you going to stay faithful to her when she starts giving you problems? Because y'all will have problems. Amen. So if your credit, your actions define your actions and your definitions. If you can't keep your word to Chase Bank, how you going to keep your word to her? Right? You got to start, you know what I'm saying? But I'm giving you my best. I'm giving you my baby girl. What you going to do with her? That's the same thing God said when he gave you that woman. That's why he gave you 3. He gave you 6 verses, man. And he gave the women 3. Because you are going to have to give an account for what you did with his favor. The favor he gives you. Just like the Bible talks about, he gives you talents. And we always talk about using your talents from the church. The first thing, before he's going to say what you did for my bride, he's going to say what you did for yours. You did a lot of stuff for my bride. That's cool. I got my bride. What you did for your bride? How is she? Right? So he gives 3 verses. So let me go. I didn't even want to say that, but it says this. It says, wives. It says, submit yourselves to your own. I like when I read that at church one time. Hope said, your own husband. Right? Tell that said your own husband. Your husband. Not Jordan down the street. Yours. Right? I like that. Right here. It says, submit yourself to your own husband as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. And in this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own body. He who loves his wife loves himself. Say it again. He who loves his wife loves himself. So he who does not love his wife does not love himself. That's the technical verse. Verse number 29. It says, after all, no one ever hates their own body, but they feed and care for their bodies, just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his mother and his father and be united to his wife, and the two of them will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I'm talking about the church, about Christ and the church. However, each one of you must love his wife as he loves himself. And the wife must respect her husband. So first, we're going to break that. I want to break that all down. And I want to break that down. I want to break the whole thing down from 21 all the way to the bottom, because this is what I do. If I did your wedding, if you were married here at the Prevailing Church, or if I do your wedding, I even do the same charge to people who are saved and a part of my church and people who are unsaved. Right. I give the same charge to each one of them, right? So everybody I've married, I give them the same charge to. So today, if you saw when I first started this service, when I first started this series, I quoted these scriptures. This is the scriptures that everything I've said over the past 2 weeks is based upon. And Chris, he used the same scriptures. He used some of the same scriptures last week because he knew I was going to talk about this today. So today, this is what I want. It does us no good if we come here and we hear the word of God. The Bible says if you hear the word of God and you hear the word of God and you turn away and you don't obey it, it's like a man looking at himself in the mirror and then turn away and forget what he looks like. Right? And so we got to do it, even if it's unpopular, even if we don't think even if we don't think that it's right for us, right? It's the word of God, and God's way always works. Guaranteed 100% of the time, every single time. So, I like those people, they think I'm just so smart. No, I'm not so smart. Everything is in the Bible, right? We learn the Bible, you see this stuff works and this stuff works. So the first thing he said in verse number 21, he said, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. So he said, now, so now we read the verse number 22. It says, wives, submit to your husband. Well, verse number 21 says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. So how do I do that, Pastor? How you ask me, you tell me, you say, we're supposed to submit to one another, but if my wife is under me, how do I submit to you? Because everybody, listen to this, at every moment in your life, you are in submission to something. Right. Everything you've ever been a part of, you've been in submission to something. Right now, we are both, me and you, at this moment, we are in submission to one another out of reverence for Christ. Let me tell you how it works, right? So I'm the pastor of the church. I'm the shepherd of the flock. I am the pastor, right, of this church. If you did not come to church, guess what I would be doing? I would be taking a walk. Because if you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're only taking a walk. You're not a leader, right? So now, in order for me to be a pastor, you submit and say, you know what? I'm going to the Prevailing Church because I'm submitted to the teaching of Pastor Tedrick Mills. He's going to give me a word. Because if you were submitted to my teaching, you can go down the street and be submitted to the Pentecostal church or the community worship center, or you can go anywhere up and down the bike and submit to that pastor. But if you go to church, you're submitting to the leadership of that pastor on that Sunday. So now you're under my submission. Well, Pastor, if you're preaching, well, how are you under my submission? Like, how do I submit to Darian right now, right? Because I have an obligation to submit to Darian as a sheep coming looking for a word or food from the Lord, to have something prepared for him to walk in here to get. It makes no sense. We got pastors that get up in the pulpit and ain't got nothing to say to people, but they want people to come and sit under their what's the word I'm looking for? Their pride. Right? To say, look how many people I got. I'm a pastor, and they want people to submit to their pride, right? But they're not in submission to them, because I have to work hard to get a word. I have to have something for you to say, so you can walk out that door. I don't care if you pass out. I don't care if you give tithes. I don't care what you do. All I want you to do is walk out that door and do thus saith the Lord. I'm in submission to one another, because the word there literally means under rank. It's a military term. It's a military term. It means under rank. So that means if we're going on a mission to accomplish something, the United States Army, they go to battle to accomplish something. You have to have generals. You have to have sergeants. You have to have all the military terms. I don't know all of them, right? You got different ranks, right? And in order for it to work, you can't have the person at the bottom trying to tell the person at the top what to do, because the person at the top and the person at the bottom, even though the person at the bottom may be smarter, may be more intelligent, he can't tell the person at the top. He can't give a command to the person at the top, because no matter how smart he is at the bottom, he doesn't see the whole picture of everything that's going on. Right. So now it says submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. So it points to Christ. Who are we submitting to? All of us are submitting to one another in order to accomplish the goal of Christ. So submission is a compound word. I said that right on my phone? Yeah. Right? Sub means under. And mission, guess what mission means? Mission. That's all it means. It just means mission, right? That's the meaning of it. Under a mission, right? So both of us are under a mission for Christ. That's the goal. We are submitted to one another out of reverence for Christ. Both of us, in order for us to make this thing work, both of us have to be under the mission to accomplish the goal of Christ. And we're going to see later on, the goal of Christ is to get us all to heaven, to get us all to Him, to bring us back to the Garden of Eden. I love it the way Eve said when the angel went to her and said, you're going to be pregnant, the Holy Spirit is going to come upon you, and then you're going to be pregnant, and you're going to give birth to the Messiah. She said, let it be the way you said. I submit to your will, right? She submitted to her will. And unto this day, God is still calling out to Adam, where are you, Adam? Where are you, Adam? Where are you, Adam? Today in your marriage, it's time for you men to step up and say, I'm right here under your mission, right? And I don't care if my wife wants to follow you or not, Lord. I'm going to keep walking towards you. I'm going to make it to your mission, and she can follow or she cannot follow, but I'm under your submission. Wives, you still, regardless of what your husband do, regardless if he's the man you want him to be, in anything, it says, submit to Christ, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. I still have a number one responsibility, and that's to Christ. Amen. So if we define the mission before anything, before we do any one thing, the overall mission, because the marriage, what we're going to say next, because this is one part, and then we're going to get to what the wife's supposed to do, right? We're going to get to the point of what the wife's supposed to do, right? But he's saying the number one point is I want you to be under the mission to get to Christ and do His will, because you will be under the mission of something. He said that on Ephesians 5, what I love, on Ephesians 5, Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, is one of my favorite books in the Bible. It covers everything. It covers everything that we're going to ever deal with in our life. It covers spiritual warfare. It covers, if you read Ephesians 5, it's talking about cursing. It's talking about y'all cussing Christian, don't be upset. Right? It talks about all that. They don't be cursing all around. They don't be doing all this coarse joking and it means sexual jokes. Don't be doing all that. Right? That's not fit for the Lord's people. They're supposed to be doing all that. But then he talks about submission right before he gets to 21. He starts off on 15, and what he says is, he says, do not be drunk with wine, which leads to debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit, right? Okay, I'm going to read Ephesians 5:15. It says, be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Make the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Verse 18, do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in songs, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing and making music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, right? So it says this, it's talking about, it's also talking that you're going to submit to one of those two things. He said, don't get drunk with wine, or do not be under submission of wine, because when you give yourself to the mission of wine, it only leads to debauchery. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? It says, if you fill with wine, guess what? Debauchery is going to come, because the mission is debauchery. This is just going to be, you're going to do diabolical things, right? But he says, guess what? If you're filled with the Spirit, this is what you're going to do, right? You're going to have songs in your heart. And you know, I'm glad the Lord didn't say you're going to have songs out loud, because some of y'all can't sing, right? He said, keep it in your heart, right? Sing to yourself. In a shout, just you and the Lord. That's all you need. You know, just songs, but don't be waiting all out. I'm glad he said that about me. Right? It don't make no sense to be talking. But anyway, he said, guess what? If you're filled with the Spirit, these are the things that you're going to do. Right? Does that make sense? Amen. So 21 starts off, it says, if you're submitted to one another out of reverence for Christ, guess what's going to happen? These are the things that you're going to do, right? So now we can see if he did it before, if he did it, and he talked about wine, he gave an example of wine, and he said, these are the things you're going to do when you're drunk with wine, debauchery, and if you're filled with the Spirit, these are the things that you're going to do. Guess what? If you are in reverence and submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ, this is the wife you're going to be. This is the husband you're going to be. If you flip over to chapter 6, this is the child you're going to be. Because I'm going to give you an example of how it all works. But you got to be under the mission, right? That's what it's about, the mission. Because guess what? If Satan can understand the effectiveness of being under a mission or ranking or being in a position of ranking, why can't we? Because if you read chapter 6, it starts to talk about spiritual armor, right? Didn't you cover that, Chris? Right? It talks about spiritual armor. It talks about the breastplate of righteousness, sword of the Spirit, helmet of salvation, belt of truth, shoes of peace, all that good stuff, right? But it says, hold on. Well, take my word for it. Read chapter 6. It says, our battle is not against flesh and blood. Right? That's what it says, verse 6. It says, our battle, you ain't fighting flesh and blood. You're fighting your husband, you're fighting your wife. Right? Remember I told you? Satan got assignment for you. He sent somebody to destroy that marriage. The battle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Right? That's a rank. Powers. That's a rank. Rulers of darkness in heavenly places, right? You see how Satan understands the way ranking works because he was in heaven. And guess what? Gabriel, Lucifer, and Michael, all three of those were archangels. They were the angels above all the angels. Then they had angels under them. So Satan was in heaven. He saw, this works, right? You got us in charge, and then you got all these people. Satan understood it so well that he got 1/3 to the angels to come with him when he left heaven. Because he understood how ranks work. It's funny, if he got 1/3 to lead, they had 3 archangels, everybody under him. He understood the rank. So when he left, everybody who was under his rank followed him because they was under submission to him. So now, so if Satan understood that, and when he set up his kingdom, he set it up with principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness in the heavenly places. And God said, you know what? It works in heaven. Guess what? I'm going to set it up. Husband, you're the head of the wife. Wife, submit to the husband. Children, you and him. And all that. So now he sets up the ranks. But now when we get to our bottom and us, Satan understands it. It's understood in heaven. And we get here. The next thing Ephesians says, Paul says, wives, submit to your husband. And some of y'all women here call that attitude. You don't know him. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's because God knew if we did it in rank, if I give these women these 3 verses, they're going to do it. So women, why is it so hard to submit? It's tough. I'm going to tell you why it's so tough. It wasn't that way in the beginning. And I said this, and I'm going to teach it again, right? Because when God created us, all the way back from the beginning, he said, let us make man in our image. Man was totally, everything was perfect in himself. He was perfect. And so God took a piece of him and made woman. There was no, the Bible said in Christ, there's no man or woman, Jew or Gentile, slave or free. Everybody's equal in Christ, right? Everybody's equal in Christ. So he took that woman and he made woman. And man woke up and he saw, when he woke up from his sleep, he saw the woman, he said, whoa, man. I told that joke like 10 times, and y'all still ain't going here. Somebody just laugh. You know what I'm saying? So he said, whoa, man. You know, like, so now he got this woman, and everything was all good. You know, and then he said, you might help me, right? I understand, right? I'm going to be the worker, you're going to be the helper. It's cool. Everything was working good. And then the apple and all that, the whole thing happened. And she saw the apple, she had the apple, and God said, guess what? Now, your desire, one of her curses, was that your desire will be towards your husband, and he will rule over you, right? He will rule over you. But the rule, and when that word desire is the same, your desire would be to your husband, right? That word desire is, you remember when Cain and Abel, right? And Cain, his reward, when he brought his sacrifice in there, his sacrifice, God didn't accept it. And he said, sin is at the door. It's at the door, and it desires to have have you. And so it was that same word, desire. Your desire will be towards your husband. Sin desires to have you. So just like sin wants to overtake us, right? Everybody got that sin knocking at their door. Every one of us got that sin knocking at their door, and it wants to rule over us, right? And every husband got that wife. That's the same way her desire is to rule over. Does this make sense? Yeah. Am I crazy here, or does this make sense? Amen. Right? Your desire, right? Your desire is to rule over your husband. That's why when you want to do something and your husband says you want to do it, most men die. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with it? Figure it out, you know? When a man want to do something, isn't it a woman's desire to at least try to make his plan a little bit more better? Right? I want to do this. I won't cook. Well, you make sure you put some salt in there. Well, why didn't you? I was going to cook. You didn't know I'm cooking. Like, how you going to give me some advice? I don't need you. Well, because it's a desire. It's a desire that's in you. And that is a curse from the devil to rule over. You want to lord over your husband because something in you is used to, you weren't made for him to rule over you. That's not where God made it at. And you're trying to get back to that. Something in you wants to get back to that position. That's why it's so tough, because you see him as equal. But God said, now, in a perfect world, if it was perfect, yes, it'll work like that. That's what I wanted to do. That's how I wanted to work. But now we live in a fallen world. We live in a fallen world. And now you have to fight that desire, and you have to do what the Bible. Because if you would submit to God naturally, he would never have to put it in the Bible. You notice God don't put in the Bible breathe. You know what I'm saying? He's like, thou shalt breathe, right? You don't have to put that in there. Thou shalt, heart shall beat. You don't have to put that in there. Why? Because you do that. You do that automatically, right? But he had to tell you not to lie, because you want to lie, and lying doesn't come easy, because it's quick just to say anything that comes out your mouth. He said, don't commit adultery. Why? Because he knew that you was going to want to do that, right? It was not good for you. Keep Sabbath day, keep it holy. He knew you was going to want to lay up on the couch and not come to church. And maybe drive to Washington, D.C. and go on vacation. So, I got next slide, B. Next slide, because I think I have a scripture there. So it says, 22, it says, wives, submit to your husband as to the Lord. So now, that scripture's been taken out of context over the years, right? I'm going to tell you what it doesn't mean before I tell you what it means, right? So a lot of people say, wives, submit to your husband as to the Lord. So men interpret that as, I'm God, right? And what I say goes. That's it. If I say it, look at what the Bible says. It said, ask the Lord. So if you submit to me, you do what God said do. Right? If God said do, you do it. Right? So what I said do, you need to do it. Because that's what the Bible said. Right? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Another thing it doesn't mean this. It doesn't mean wives. This is how wives said. She said, well, I'm supposed to submit to you like I do for the Lord. And this is what the Lord says. So now I will have to submit to you. So husbands, it's not your job to play guard or lord over your wife. You know what? That's a dangerous thing to do. Because when you try to play guard, that means you're responsible for everything. God was so responsible for our mess ups, he sent his only son to make it better. He said, you know what? I'm their God, and they need salvation. Son, I love you. You got to give your blood up for him. And he put on that cross on his back. He said, I'll go die for him, Daddy. Right? So, but when we try to play God as men, we can't, how can I say, we don't have enough to give up in order to be God. We just not God. We don't know everything, right? And women, it's not your job to say, to look in the Bible. And you may know more Bible than your husband. You might come to church more than your husband. But it's still not your job to say, to be his preacher and say, this is what you do, and bump him over the head with the Bible and say, do what I say do, because the Bible said do, and that's what I want to do. Because it's dangerous, because guess what will happen? You'll start taking it out of context, and then you already got a desire to rule over him and not submit. And so now you're trying to control him, and what you're trying to do goes in direct violation of what the Bible said, because it didn't tell you to control, it told you to all the men said submit. And all the women was like, so he says, submit to your own husband and to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, for which he is the Savior. I'm reminded of a story. There was this ship, and there's some German ships, so I don't remember the name. Well, I remember the name, but I'm not going to try to say it, right? And what happened was, it was in the sea, and the waves got rough, and the whole ship capsized and flipped upside down, trapping half the crew in the hull. They were trapped at the bottom of the ship. So when the ship flipped over, the bottom came to the top, and the top was at the bottom. So some of the crew, the captain said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make our way to the top, which is now the bottom of the ship. Right? We're going to make our way to the top, which is the bottom of the ship. Some of the people, the crew members said, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to take these stairs, which wasn't stairs anymore, but a stairwell, and we're going to walk down to the top of the ship, which is now on the bottom, and we're going to swim around the other side. But what they didn't know was, because the captain knew the ship, right? The captain knew how the ship was designed. What they didn't know, it was 100 foot down before they could come back up. And they couldn't hold their breath that long, so half the crew went down and they perished and they drowned in the water. The other half, who followed the captain, went up to the top of the ship. When they got up there, they started hitting on the bottom with a hammer, and the crew came and they cut them out the bottom and they were saved. Why did you say that? Because the Bible says that wives should submit to the husband because they're the head. If the people who went down would have only listened to the captain, they'll still be alive today. But instead of following the head of the ship, they decide to go and do their own thing, go their own way, and they'll perish. The same thing, why God did not call you to lead the ship. He said, just follow your husband. And one thing is difficult. Why I want you guys to give us a pass on a certain extent. It's tough being the head. It's tough. One of the toughest things to do is be the leader. It's hard being the head. If you don't think it's hard being the head, let me tell you this one. So everybody in here got a head. And the head only does what the body says to do. Right? So that means if you look down at your body, and you say, you know what? My body out of shape. I need to lose a few pounds. I need to start working out and get in shape. Does that body get up and just start working out on its own? Does that body start to eat right on its own? The body only does what the head says do. Right? So the head is in control of all of it. So if the head's going to get longevity, he has to take care of the body. So God gave men those 6 verses. He said, if you're the head, I need you to take care of the body. It's your job to pray for me, lift me up, and trust that I'm going to make the right decision to get you in the right place and not fight me, because the battle is won. Where the battle is won? On your knees, right? It's not one beating on the side and hitting the buttons. It's one on your knees. So he says the husband is the head. God gave us that responsibility. I don't care if you got it. The crazy part about it is, I wish it would have said this. I wish it would have said, why? Submit to your good husband. Yeah. Right? Wouldn't that have made sense? Yeah. Right? If God would have said, why? If he's good, submit to him. But if he's bad, don't submit to him. It didn't say that. It said, why? Submit to your good husband, your bad husbands, whatever husband you got to submit to. That's the word. That's the Bible. It says because he's the head. As Christ was the head of the church. It's a reflection of the church. And one thing we have, the biggest problem with America right now is the church is not following the head, which is Christ. The church decided to be the political voice in America today. Wow. Could I get a bad amen to that? Amen. The church is so embroiled in politics, we're forgetting about everything Jesus said. Look at it, just put, I don't know your political views or whatever. And I'm not a Donald Trump basher. I'm gonna just pray for the man, and whatever God do, He's gonna do, right? But the Bible says this. It says, if there's an immigrant among you, do not treat him bad. Do not put them in dog cages. Do not separate them from the children. Do not do that kind of stuff. But America, even the church, how many churches you hear in mainstream America stepping up and say, no, we don't support, especially evangelical churches, stepping up and say, we don't support President Trump. But when he got inaugurated, all of them were standing behind him taking pictures, but not wearing it now. Right? Because the church has gone, a large part of the church has gotten so embroiled in politics, and we got people going to hell every day in the handbasket, and we're so worried about what the president is doing. It's our job to be the church. But if marriage reflects church and Christ, let me ask you a question. What kind of church are you? Right? Because sometimes, what kind of church are you? Are you the church that somebody wants to go to? That's imagine if people around the church and talking about all kind of stuff going on. It just was crazy over here. You wouldn't even come to this church, but you expecting that man to just embrace, come here, girl. No. You gotta be, you be the church. You say he's the head of the church. I'm gonna make sure this boy is the head of a good church. Right? So let me keep going. So it says this. It says, now, as the church submits to Christ, also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Next one, read. So now, that's the problem. This one up real big time. So I was reading, I was studying this, I was looking at the wives, I'm like, well, Lord, why is it so hard for wives? Like, how can I put some legs to this thing? Why is it so hard for women to submit to their men? Why? I understand the spiritual aspect of it, but there got to be an emotional aspect of it, because women are emotional beings. And so that led me to Peter. And so Peter started talking about 1 Peter 3. And before that, it starts talking about, it says, ladies, don't adorn yourself with, fancy clothes and jewelry and all this good stuff. He says, verse 4, it says, but rather, it should be, I like the way the King James put verse 4, it says, the hidden in the heart. But it says, rather, it should be that of your inner self, an unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, not a beating on the wall, not a hitting them, smashing the buttons, right? Which is a great word to God. Wow. Like value, like that's, it says your gentle and quiet spirit, that's valuable to God. It's worth something. Like that means you got something in your hand, you say, look, God, look, I'm gentle and quiet spirit. You don't say that about a man. It says, women, you got something, you can cash it to God. Look, this is worth something, God. But that means also if you have it, it's worth something. But I wonder if you don't have it,